I'm walking through my neighborhood in Kiryat Yovel, Yerushalayim, and you see this all over the land of Israel right now. Everything is very, very green. Okay, so most of the year, this little lawn that you have here is actually just dirt. And right now, you have a bunch of plants mixed in, but you also see a lot of what looks like grass. And again, you see this all over Israel right now. The north is incredible. Even the areas that we generally call desert are gorgeous. Lots of green, also a lot of flowers blooming. But I want to talk for a minute about this plant here that looks like grass, because in general, it's not actually grass. These are grains. Okay, they're not ready yet, as you can tell. Now, on the one hand, it's the end of Adar, which means that it should be spring any moment. But if you look at the sky, it's quite cloudy and gray. Actually, it's just starting to rain on me. It's not spring. It's not. And if we look at Sefer Shemot and Sefer Devarim, where it talks about the spring, so it says, שמור את חודש האביב ועשית פסח להשם אלוקיך כי בחודש האביב הוציאך השם אלוקיך ממצרים לילה. Okay, so we have to guard or observe the month of Aviv, and that's the month for Pesach, because that's when Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. And the question is, so what makes it Aviv, right? We generally translate Aviv as spring. So when is it spring? When based on like when a gopher comes out and it sees its shadow or doesn't see its shadow. So that's not how it works here, of course. But we actually have a different translation of what Aviv is. We generally, again, modern Hebrew, everyone says Aviv means spring, but that's not actually a proper translation. If we look in Sefer Shemot, when we're talking about the Barad, Makat Barad, the hail, okay? So this is Perek Tet, Psukim Lamed Aleph Lamed Bet. והפשתה והשעורה נוקתה, כי השעורה אביב, והפשתה גבעול. The flax and the barley, these were struck and destroyed. Okay, they were hit by the barad, and they were in essence destroyed, because the se'orah is aviv, the barley is aviv, in the state of aviv, and the flax, the pishta, is in givol. These are two stages in the ripening of the grains, which is basically when they start filling with starch and they start hardening. And at that point, they're not as flexible. Okay, so again, looking here, this is, it's like grass, okay? But once it gets to Aviv, so then they harden. And at that time, the barad, the hail, will destroy it. On the other hand, vachita, the wheat, vakusemet, lo nuku ki afilotena. Okay, so the wheat and the spelt, these weren't destroyed because these ripen later. Okay, and that we know, right? So for example, as opposed to Pesach, which has to be in the times of the Aviv, when the barley is ready, and then we have Sfirat HaOmer, which is when basically when the Omer, the barley is ready, and we bring the Korban HaOmer after Leil HaSeder, and I'm saying Leil HaSeder because here in Israel we only have one. Okay. So the next night, when we first start counting, and as opposed to that, the wheat is ready only by Shavuos time. Okay, right now, neither of them are even almost ready, as we can see. As such, it is not Aviv. So what do? This is why we add a leap year. And this is why we add a leap year specifically now. And so this year is actually a leap year. And again, you might be seeing this you might be seeing it this year, you might be seeing it a different year. Either way, this explains how this is why right now, right after Rosh Chodesh, it's going to be Rosh Chodesh Adar Bet instead of Rosh Chodesh Nisan. This is why when a leap year is declared specifically now, because we can go outside and we can take a look and we see, based on the grains, this is if it's going to be a leap year or not. In addition, this is also why our Chagim don't travel through the year, like for example by the Muslims with Ramadan, who have a lunar calendar. We have a lunar calendar, right? We go by the moon. So Ramadan each year is around 9 days earlier than it was the previous year, and that way it travels through the year. Why doesn't that happen with us? Because we actually don't have a purely lunar calendar. We have a lunar solar calendar, meaning yes, we go by the moon, but we also, it has to be fitting in with the solar calendar, meaning the seasons. And so yes, in essence, Pesach has to be in the spring, but really It doesn't mean spring. It means Aviv means the stage of the grains, and that's in essence what makes it spring or not. Also, what makes it Pesach or not. What makes it Aviv or not. Either way, wishing you a Chodesh Tov and lots of growth.